All right. Praise the Lord, everyone. Happy Saturday. I wasn't planning on going live this morning, but it's been a busy, busy, busy week of traveling, different time zones, ministry responsibilities, and life. But I still wanted to show up because we're wrapping up our survival mode series. And I wanted to talk about something that I think a lot of women, really need to talk about because we're struggling with it. And it's really talking about like not everything is urgent. It just feels urgent. I mean, anybody there ever feel like, man, it's like my life is just so busy. It's like I'm going, 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 and I can never shut down. I can never power down. And so I'm feeling it in in all of my spaces. And so for for women who have spent years like in survival mode where everything starts to feel like an emergency, every text, every phone call, every request, every delay, every inconvenience, every problem, and after a while we stop discerning what actually requires our attention and what doesn't, because we feel like everything is a crisis and we have to respond to all of the things. This is for you. This is for us. I wanted us to be able to take this Saturday morning and just chat. So if you're with me, go ahead, utilize the chat features. And for those of you guys who are wondering, like, who is this person? I just see her popping up on my timeline all the time, right? If you are new here, my name is. I'm a first lady. I'm a pastor's wife in Fresno, California. I'm also a licensed marriage and family therapist. I have two PhDs. I have a doctorate in general psychology, and I also have one in Christian psychology. And so this is not new. I've been doing this for years. This is about 20 plus years, 20, 25 years that I've been doing psychotherapy, and I've been working with the women of God, and I've been on YouTube for a while. We just rebranded. We just started doing something different a little while ago, and pushing it out here. And so anyway, I'm here and I want us to be able to chat. And so I wanted to talk about like the idea of survival mode, right? And survival mode, what it does is it trains you to just stay alert, right? So when you live through difficult seasons like trauma, instability, disappointment, betrayal, whether it's loss, sometimes it's financial hardship, relationship struggles, ministry pressure, or just simply years of carrying too much, what happens is the mind learns to stay on guard. It says, hey, be alert, be vigilant. Something is about to happen, and you need to brace yourself because the last time things felt like this, life got like this, you ended up in trouble. Right. And so, what the brain is doing, it's going into protect mode. It's trying to, protect itself from further trauma, from further harm. And so, that's how we end up in a space. Sometimes this happens to us. Like, let me give you an example with sleep. Say, for instance, you are a single mom, and so you don't sleep very well because you have young children and you want to make sure that they're okay. You need to make sure, like, any sound that happens in the house, that you're vigilant, that nothing is going to happen and show up and be a threat to your family. And so therefore your brain is wired not to sleep very well. Okay. And so because you always have to make sure that you can hear anything in the background that might happen, even though you're trying to sleep, there's a part of you that never shuts down because you cannot be too sound asleep that you don't hear your baby when the baby cries, or you don't hear an intruder when they come in, or something along those lines, right? And so then after years of doing that, now you're finally in a healthy marital relationship, you still can't sleep because your brain is still programmed to make sure that everything is okay. All right. So your mind just learns to stay on guard. You become accustomed to anticipating problems. You become accustomed to prepare for the next issue. Right. You have become accustomed to thinking three steps ahead. It's like, I got to be three steps ahead of this so nothing catches me off guard. And so what happens is our nervous system begins responding as though everything requires immediate attention. Right. And so if any of this stuff makes sense to you, let me know, like, hey, that makes sense. It's like, man, oh, is that the issue? Is that what I've been dealing with? Right. So the second point, because I'm not going to be before you guys too long. The second point is this shows up in practical ways. Right. For example, you may rush through a conversation. Why? Because your mind tells you, like, I got somewhere else to be. It's like, I don't have time to sit and really talk about this because I have other things that I need to be doing. Or you may be on your way home and you're like, oh, let me, like from work, it's like, and you're speeding on the freeway to rush home to do what? Like, nothing. Right. But your mind is programmed to tell you, I'm busy. I got stuff to do. I don't have time to be sitting in this traffic for 5 minutes. I don't have time to be like on this freeway. I need to get home. Or you may be trying to enjoy a bath, but you cannot enjoy a bath at the end of the day because your mind is telling you there's other things I need to do. There's laundry that needs to be done. I need to cook. I need to clean up. I need to, I need to, I need to, I need to. Right. So you rush through meals, you rush through prayer. We've talked about that before, right? Through rushing through prayer. It's like, I'm like, okay, I got 1,001. I'm talking to myself here, right? While still talking to y'all. I have 1,001 things to do. I cannot just sit here and pray. But like, girlfriend, yes, you can, because that's how the Lord downloads. That's how you get your word to give to the women. What do you mean? Like you don't have time? Of course you have time, but my mind is programmed to tell me that I have other things to do. And so I cannot sit here and enjoy the things that bring me life. Anybody with me? You rush through errands. You rush through vacations. You rush through family time. You rush through rest. Oh, I better get up. Why? It's Saturday. Why do you have to get up? There may be things on your agenda list, but are they important things? Or are you just busy for the sake of being busy because survival mode has taught you that you need to get up and be productive as if rest is not being productive? That is how we recharge. Your mind is constantly saying, what's next? Like, am I forgetting something? What if something goes wrong? And before you know it, you're physically present, but mentally you are somewhere else. Girl, you are already into next week's issues, next week's agendas, next week's problems, instead of planting your feet where you are. The third point, survival mode makes everything feel equally important. Because when everything feels urgent, nothing gets prioritized correctly. And we've talked about this before. You cannot effectively manage everything at the same time. We call it multitasking. That doesn't work because something is always going to take more priority, right? But we'll try to do it. We'll try to give everything the same attention rather than dealing with this thing right now because it needs the most attention. So it's dangerous when we try to make everything feel equally important because nothing gets prioritized correctly. The truly important things get crowded out by the merely loud things, by the things that just feel loud. They sound loud. And so the thing God is actually calling your attention to gets mixed together with other distractions, with other pressures and demands that were never assigned to you. If we're not careful, we'll go and start micromanaging other people's issues and trying to solve other people's problems when you have something sitting before you that requires your attention. So we got to break this cycle. Another point, point number four, discernment requires slowing down. One of the healthiest things that a Christian woman can do is to pause long enough to ask, does this really require my attention? Does this require my attention right now? Did God assign me this? Or is this something that I picked up along the way? Or am I simply reacting? Because emotionally mature Christian women learn that discernment often requires slowing down and hearing the voice of God, sitting in his presence to find out what is the next thing. Number five, at the point here, treating ourselves better. Y'all hear me saying this all the time. It's time that we treat ourselves better. One way we start treating ourselves better is by refusing to live in a constant state of urgency. Since everything is not a crisis, not everything is an emergency, not everything requires an immediate response, not everything deserves access to your peace. And emotionally mature Christian women eventually learn that protecting our peace requires that same level of discernment. So, if you've been following this survival mode series, I want to tell you guys that Monday is our final free masterclass. We're going to pull all of this together and talk about what it looks like to move beyond surviving and begin healing intentionally. Now, there is also a companion workbook available on the website, holyghosthomegirls.com, if you want to go a little bit deeper. Okay. All you have to do is go over to holyghosthomegirls.com, um, um, scroll down to masterclass, reserve your seat. That's how you get into the masterclass. But if you keep scrolling down right under that, you'll see that workbook. Okay. Because after Monday, we're moving into a brand new conversation surrounding emotional maturity. Okay, I'm sorry, emotional maturity. Okay, relational discernment, misclassified relationships, and just learning how to treat ourselves better. Right. So, but I couldn't do that until we did the survival mode series because we had to know, that this is what we're dealing with. So sometimes we have to diagnose the issue first. And that's what I do. I diagnose, right? And so now that we've diagnosed the issue, it's time for us to go a little bit deeper and start working on how do we get ourselves out of it. Anyway, guys, God bless you for joining me this morning. Have an amazing rest of your Monday. Share this video with somebody who you think needs it, right? And save it for yourself as well. All right, guys. All right, we'll talk soon.